Remember the story of Ebenezer Scrooge, an old man that despised Christmas and everything about it? This character was played by actor Charles Dickens back in the old novella titled A Christmas Carol. Dickens described himself saying, "The cold within him froze his old features, nipped his pointed nose, made his eyes red, his thin lips blue, and spoke shrewdly in his grating voice." I love the story of Ebenezer Scrooge because it talks about how this man changed after a few personal experiences. I am sure you have had your fair share of encountering Scrooges, and I am sure you have had your fair share of being the Scrooge as well. I am sure that at some point you may have ran into a Scrooge and said to yourself, if only this person had religion, he would be much happier. Eventually, Mr. Scrooge had a few heart-changing experiences by running into a few people that changed his outlook on life and changed him into a kinder, gentler, and more positive person. Aside from this one aspect in how someone's outlook on life can be greatly impacted by certain experiences, there are many people that are suffering from life struggles. For example, did you know that moderate or mild depression is something that impacts between 20 to 50% of US teenagers? Those who have more major depressive symptoms are those of 15 to 20%. This means that of a class of 300 students with mild and moderate depression would be between 60 and 150 students. Those with more serious depression of a class of 300 students would be between 45 to 60 students. This makes up a good number of adolescents that experience depression during their teenage years. Some may also struggle with addictions, alcohol, tobacco, or drug use. Whatever the issue may be, religion can have a positive impact on how many of these struggles people deal with on a daily basis. For example, I have had many conversations lately with some coworkers, all of which have similar struggles. Two of them are addicted to chewing tobacco. One is an alcoholic, and the other is a heavy smoker. Of the four of them, one of them is recently becoming involved in a religion. As for the other three, they don't have much to want to do with religion, but have shared with me that they all have a desire to stop with their addictions or wish they never would have started in the first place. So what does all of this have to do with religion? In a study conducted back in 2003, it said, religious involvement promotes responsible academic and social behavior and discourages misconduct. It is associated with lower levels of drug and alcohol use, early sexual activity, and delinquency. Religion gives people a standard of living. It gives them a base of things that are morally acceptable and allows people to make decisions that are based on a higher moral standard than what may be acceptable to the rest of society. Now imagine for a minute what the world would be like if there were less drug use, alcohol use, lower levels of sexual activity, less delinquency, and more people committed to living a religious lifestyle. Luckily, we do live in a society where more than 70% of the US is affiliated with a religion. However, it seems that the 30% of the population stands out more and making it hard to recognize the importance of religion. So what needs to be done? How can the 70% bring back the value and importance religion has on our society? In an LDS news article, they give a list of 9 steps to help people become involved and excited about religious activities. Even though these 9 steps are directed towards the youth, these steps can be applied to other individuals who don't necessarily have a religious desire or affiliation, and it can help them gain a desire and become involved in religious activities. One example of the 9 steps that I feel is important is do not pressure or require, rather invite. Think back to a time when you were introduced to something new. Did you have a positive or negative experience with it? Pressuring and requiring would result in a negative experience, but a simple invitation could lead to a lasting, positive experience. I would like to share with you 2 experiences that my wife and I recently had. I am sure many of you have had similar experiences and can relate. First, our negative experience. We were introduced to a product that a family friend was passionate about. He gave us samples of the product, information about the product, and contacted us frequently about the product. What made this experience negative for us was that we felt pressured and required to purchase the product. Now let me share with you a positive experience. Once again, a family friend, passionate about a product, introduced the product, gave samples of the product, and then left up to us whether we liked the product and wanted to purchase it. This resulted in a much more positive experience because it gave us the choice without feeling pressured or required. Rather, it was a simple invite. What do these two experiences have to do with the importance of religion? Well, I believe this is a key factor in how we can help others gain a desire to become more religious. As we extend an invitation, rather than pressuring or requiring, we can create a greater and lasting result by allowing the person to choose for themselves without the pressure or requirement. I would like for each of you to think of a simple way to extend an invitation without pressuring or requiring. I know that as you do, we can help people gain an understanding of the importance of religion and how it can positively impact their lives. Like Ebenezer Scrooge came to the realization of what he needed to change in his life, simple invitations like a religious lifestyle can help those struggling with suicidal thoughts, addictions, alcohol, tobacco use, or any other modern day struggle to come to the realization of a better and more positive lifestyle.